right. Good evening, folks. It is Sci-Fi Monday, and my players are still recuperating from Saturday night's extra long D&D game. We went 4 hours, which, well, actually closer to 4.5, which is one of our longer gaming sessions, especially when they like to chitty-chat after the session for another 20-30 minutes or so. Oh, so since I don't have any players tonight, we're not going to be gaming, but I figured I would at least focus on sci-fi tonight and do a little map work, if I can get my mapping tool to pull up here. Excuse me, nose itches. I groomed a husky earlier this evening, and my nose is still itching. Little hairy monsters. Okay, my big complaint with this map is the fact that the whole center mass of this globe looks like a ink blot test, and Brian keeps seeing a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, that's not good. It just means I've got to do something about it. So, my problem is I like it, but I still can't stand it, if that makes sense. So just kind of a point of reference, I'm going to flip over to my fantasy map. You know, they've got some rounding, they've got some jaggies. It kind of looks, like a fractal mess, which is what, in Brian's mind, terrain should look like, in my mind. And, looking at my sci-fi map, I've got some rounding and some jaggies of my upper continents. But my lower continent just looks like the mouth of Raphael. I'm sorry. Who's ordering pizza? Anyways, I've got to do something about this because it's been bugging me for 2 weeks. So tonight I'm going to try to rough this up a little bit and make it look like something other than, Freud giving me an ink blot test and me seeing Ninja Turtles. So that's part of what I'm going to do tonight. The other thing I've got to do tonight is I drop these cities and towns on these continents, and now I've got to name them. The problem I have is I haven't done any sci-fi name generating, so we'll probably go aggravate the internet for some randomly generated names. Please don't let me name anything Bodie McBoatface. I don't know if y'all saw that, where they were trying to name a boat, and the internet came up with Bodie McBoatface. No, we're not going there. Please don't let me go there. Jump into chat and tell me to cut that shit out. Anyways, so first thing I want to do is take a long, hard look at this map and figure out, am I rounding the southern half of the northern continent first, or am I just going to dive into roughing up my southern continent to make it a little more fractally? I could go either way. The problem is I've already placed cities. I've kind of built my terrain the way I want, so I don't want to get too extreme. But at the same time, I'm like, something has got to be done here. So I think we're going to play with this a little bit and see what we can come up with. All right. So maybe tearing up some of this will make me feel better about it. So let's see what I can do without totally decimating my my structural maps. Okay, I like that, how that looks. What can I do down here? And we just created a couple coastals. I don't know about that. So I'm going to have to go in and tweak some of my forest designs to compensate for what I'm doing here. And I feel like I'm just roughing up the edges of Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, or Donatello's mouth here. It's really not helping me creatively at all. So let's do this. Let me clear this filter. I want to throw some farmland around. This would be a great place for a harbor, and now I'm going to undo that. There we go. And then I'm going to have to tweak some of this. Well, this is going to have some forest coming up to the water's edge, which I normally don't do. But you know what? I'm going to roll with it because I can. Alrighty. What can I do to make this look less of a mouth and more of a There we go. Maybe, just maybe, I might be onto something. I don't know about this. I don't know that I want to do a whole lot here. Helps if I spell farmland right, or just farm to give me some shaping. Okay. I can work with that. What can we do up here? Let's see. That's just curling it inwards. It's one of those things that, you know, terrain generation gets a little crazy and makes me a little cranky. So, pardon me for a minute while I throw some forest in here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see. We need some deciduous. Just to flesh that out a little bit. Let me build out some more farmland around this large city here. There we go. Alright, let's zoom out. What are we doing down here? You know what the southern continent needs is it needs some water. I think that would help tremendously. I think if we put some water in here to break this up, break up some of the monotony. Then maybe I will be content with it. That's a possibility. It's a very limited possibility, but it's a possibility nonetheless. Design something just to give it a little bit of flavor, because we've got a good couple of bodies of water up above. I think we need a couple down below. Let's do this. Just to clear up a little bit of this. Looks like a check mark when it's zoomed out. Oh, there, it just refreshed. Okay. And yes, I'm using ocean tiles, but that's just me. So these can be runoff. In the case of these that are close to the mountainous tree lines, these can be runoff lakes, whatever you want to call them, inner seas. I think that helps tremendously with reshaping this a little bit. Feels a little more organic to me. Now I just need to rough up some coastline a little bit more to make me happy. Let me pan out a little bit. I think if I come up in here and then reforest some of this as farmland, or recultivate some of this as farmland. Let's see, that's probably too much of a change. Let's do a large body of water cutting through here. I like that better. It feels a little bit more fragmented. Let's see. Let's flush out some land around this so that it's consistent with my designing. This is going to have the desired effect of changing some structure around. And that's okay. Actually, dual peak, and looks like some deciduous forest. I want to touch that for consistency. And so that, I think, looks better. I don't feel like we're looking at a Ninja Turtle anymore. I do want to do something a little bit on the northern edge of this continent. So I got a suggestion from chat to make some river channels that attach to the ocean down here, so I can do that as well. I kind of did that here. Let's do that with this one. Yeah, maybe here. That gives us a very large internal bay. That's probably a good call to relocate a city. I mean, even if I just move this city down and over one to accommodate that. Let's see if I can select that city. Cut. And paste. Let's see how that looks when I deselect. Okay, so we've moved a city in the process. Thank you, Drexus, for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Nice to get some feedback when I'm trying to doodle, because I'm not a very good doodler. Oh, Lord have mercy. My pups are getting excited about something. Maybe I need to bring this one down from this angle. That just doesn't appeal to me unless I do it like that. Let's see if we can come up with some adjustments here to make it a little more do I want to change that? Let's make that forest. But then we're going to make this farmland right here. Carmen, she just comes barreling in here yelling. She is a heifer. Oops, I did not mean to drop that right there. You know what? Let's leave that heavily forested at the hook. And then maybe... The problem with playing with the rivers like this is, or these are actually too wide to be rivers, considering that's each hex represents a 25-mile to 50-mile radius area, is, you know, northern hemisphere rivers typically flow north to south. Southern hemisphere rivers flow south to north. So these would actually be flowing in from the ocean. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. You know, there's nothing that says Earth physics need to apply to other worlds, right? I mean, you're dealing with aliens. If I bring that down here, and then just eradicate that. Oops. Gotta select something first, Brian. Okay. And then let's do... Alright. I'm kind of applying the same technique to the northern. To give us a rather unique kind of feel. So it's like my zoom map. There it goes. It takes it a minute to refresh. Alright, let's see how that impacts my lowland to highland design. And then, you know, I think I can leave that alone. Yeah, I like that. I think we'll go with that. If anything, I might add another river basin or element to the this section. Oh, probably at a future point. I don't know. All right, so maybe I'm done map doodling this evening. You know, I kind of like that idea. I think I might borrow it and do some of that on the upper continent as well. Just to chew up the furniture, so to speak. I don't want that coming out right up against the city. And this keeps me from tearing up too much of my landscape in terms of the cities I've already built, so... I'm almost tempted to curve that all the way up there. Why not? There we go. I need to do something down here. It's bugging me. I think that gives us a lot more of a unique shape and design. I think we'll stick with that. Do a little bit more editing as we go. Let's pull the map out. Okay, I've eradicated the impression that I have a ink blot of a Ninja Turtle. I may want to tweak some forest up here. What do we got? Deciduous. Okay, maybe... go more like that. And then some cultivated farmland there. I think that works well. Whoops, I thought I selected the tile and I didn't. See, that's too straight. You know what? You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to tweak this. Like that. There we go. Now I'm content with that. Tempted to bring this down and tweak it a little bit more. but I'm going to stop there. Okay, so I think I've played with the map enough tonight to make me happy. Let me save this. This thing has been a work in progress going on probably 2.5 weeks now. But switching gears. Yeah, that is a good point. Is you have an escape path into the water if you're evacuating the city, or into the to the hills and the mountains beyond, and also trade routes. So that's a point that Drexus has made as I'm mapping tonight. So, all right. So I need to come up. If I can figure out where my Chrome capture is at. Is this my Chrome capture? This is my Chrome capture. Now, I'm not actually naming towns directly tonight. What I'm doing is going to kind of cheat and build a list of names. That way I have something to go back and place names with. The problem is I've got to come up with something. Okay, so the problem is I'm not that familiar with the Aslan or Varga races yet in Traveler. So I'm going to just come up with human city names tonight, since better than half the planet's population is going to be human. And that way I have something to build from. So I'm going to have to do some digging and do a little more research for Traveler and Starfinder town, generating town names based on the different species and races in those two games. This world is kind of designed to be played for either one, because my players and I haven't really decided which sci-fi campaign we're going to be playing in, or which RPG. I think they're a little gun shy of Traveler, since I damn near killed every last one of them in our very first session. But that was on me for not having the character building rules down well enough to know what the hell I was doing. So we suspended that game, and we haven't revisited it since. So I think what I'm going to have to do is to get them over that intimidation factors. I'm probably going to have to spin up a Starfinder introductory game and get them to play that, just to kind of take their minds off of it and do a better job than I did with Traveler. I think that's key for us to do that. So, okay, futuristic city names. The ports, the port cities. That is the stuff in the middle. Let me see if I can unlock this and move this window over a little bit. Well, I don't want to block chat. That's the problem. So let's just leave it where it's at. I don't want to go tweaking my layouts tonight. It's kind of not on the plan. All right, city names. I love some of these random generators. Use the Lost World one. I thought about that. The nice thing is with this design, we got plenty of things we can call bay, harbor, things of that nature. So we can generate bays and harbors for quite a bit. I think I'm going to go Arielon. I like that one. And then let's see. We've got a scientific. We've got an agro-industrial, heavy agricultural presence on this world. We've got some industrial. We've got we've got all the elements of a modern society. You know, basically a little bit ahead of Earth in terms of tech level, because obviously they have a set of ports that are capable of addressing incoming ships with jump drives for the spaceport. So just things to think about as I'm creating or randomizing names out here. Oh, I am not going to Pinterest for name generating. I like Zamata. Let's go from A to Z right there. You know, your constellations are going to be different, so I don't know that I want to use constellations visible from Earth, because we haven't even figured out where we're plugging this thing in on the galactic map yet. Interesting thing I just discovered, you know, and I'm thinking maybe the creators of Traveler did this on purpose. You know, the Aslan are a cat-like race, if I remember correctly. You have a cat-like race and a dog-like race. And so the Aslan in Traveler are cat-like, and the Vargir are dog-like. So cat-like names, dog-like names. But anyways, I went sideways there for a minute. Aslan is actually the Turkish word for lion. So it's interesting that how they use that. Let's see. Looking for a traveler-friendly name list? Yes, that would be fun. I've learned not to do live searches in the stream, because sometimes things you look for on the internet can lead you down rabbit holes. It's like, no, we're not gonna do that live again. Anyways, I really went sideways here. Okay, Port Naichi. I need to stay away from port names because we're playing in the port city of Nanzaru and Chult in D&D. I could very easily end up start giving things Chultan names and get myself in trouble. Let's see. I want to come up with probably 8 to 10 Aslan and Vargir names when it comes time to do that. But for my human city names, I need about 14 to 16. So we'll hammer some stuff out here. Let's do an upper, lower terrain. That'll be good for cities that are north and south of each other on the map, especially if they're on a river. Let's see. Go into Japanese names. No, I don't want to go into Japanese names. We'll be here all night. You know what? What the hell? We're going to name a city Redemption. Maybe that'll be the Redemption Downport. The name for Downport and Deepport. Provided I can spell deep. Ow. Doesn't help that I'm banging my ankles on this chair. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to close the tab. Where's my cursor at? Let's do... It's almost coming up with U.S. city names. You know what? You know what's fun for generating names? Okay, you can tell I spend too much time in Houston. Just grab a map of Houston and look at some of the street names, and then just mangle the hell out of them spelling and pronunciation wise. I'm sorry, it's cheating, but it's not cheating. Let's see. Get me some street names. Let's go find a heavily populated neighborhood. And we're not going to name a city 14th Street, so we can get over that. Houston's a big place. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. See, this is where you can get into some fun stuff. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so one more will give me 10. And then I say we just tackle some more names as we go. Let's see. Let's go West Side, just for kicks and giggles. But not into the industrial West Side, right? Why do none of these have names? Well, we have a South Canton. Let's go with a North Gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. When I did this for my sci-fi, did I do... Did I do it as a table? No, I did not. I just tabbed over. And apparently did a shit job at that, so... Fix it. Fix it, Felix. Okay. Bail out of there. Come back to our document. So this really will give us 20 if I fully populate this. And I don't want overlapping names with my other map, so got to be careful that I don't do that. Yeah, you can have some fun naming stuff, or you could spend all day doing it. And I don't want to spend all day doing it. I'd like to have at least a set of names built. Up, we got a husky on stream. Where'd you go? Come here, Bubba. Come here, puppy. Rocky. Come here. Come here. Oh, and then the girl come running. Okay. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Oh, it's the happy redhead. It's the happy redhead. Oh, and then there's Mama. Hi, Mama. Hey, Carmen. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you bullying your brother out of the way? Yes. Hi, girly. Did you have a good day? Did you have a good day? Huh? Yeah. You had a good day? Good girl today. She was not happy because she wasn't the one getting groomed. Sam was. And because she likes to aggravate the fuck out of Sam, excuse my language, there's no nice way to say it, I had to lock her in the house while I was on the back deck with him. So he was trying to escape me, so I had to cordon off a section of the deck with furniture and 2 baby gates and keep him kind of in a tight spot so he couldn't get away from me. He does not like being groomed. And Rocky has suddenly found something behind my desk to entertain him, so I don't know what he's doing over there. I don't think he knows what he's doing over there. Hey, buddy. What are you doing over there? Huh? What are you doing over there? Anyways. Dogs are a distraction, but they're a good distraction. What are you staring at behind my desk? You're kind of freaking me out. Okay. I think we can call... Can we call the city rampart? Yeah, thanks for calling them cute. What they are is spoiled. Spoiled is a term my coworkers use when describing my dogs. I prefer to think of them as well compensated for the user experience they provide. But my coworkers are in agreement that if reincarnation is real, they want to come back and be reincarnated as one of my dogs because that's how spoiled they feel my dogs are. Again, I don't feel my dogs are spoiled. I feel they're well compensated for the user experience they are providing. These are my babies. My fur babies. Let's see. Some more street names. That sounds very Scottish. Glenshire. Or Glenshire, Glenshire. I can see the Scots arguing with you about it just because they like to argue. And apparently Google Spell Check is arguing with me about trying to tab over from a word it doesn't recognize. Get over yourself, Google. Puppy, why are you whining? Oh Lord, now they want to wrestle. Hey, shark faces. Y'all are bad. I feel like we need a bay. We haven't named a bay. Pelican Bay. You know, these are subject to change a half dozen times between now and when I start labeling cities, so... Oh, Lord, and there they go. It could be like For All Mankind and name things like they did. You know, the Mars outpost is Happy Valley. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's actually a very good program, but I think the last episode was the end of the series, and they left it way too open for my tastes. Sorry, I'm flip-flopping and tilting my head to read maps, street names that are diagonal, so... This thing is killing the top of my head, too. I need to loosen up my headset. There we go. Okay, a couple more street names. I think we can nail this down. Again, as long as we're not Bodie McBoat facing anything, I don't care. This is the dry part of being a DM, is having to name stuff and create things. Creating things I don't mind. I like to take my time. It's the reason this has been an ongoing activity for some number of weeks now. But naming stuff is the pits, because you've got to come up with names. Now, get me into a game and get me with a set of NPCs generated for the players, and I can lock in some voices and go to town. But okay. That is it for human city names. That is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay. I think we'll go with that. And you know what? I think we're going to dive in. And we'll do some naming. I'm going to cheat. If they're going to use the Turkish language to name the cat-like species, then I'm going to use Turkish city names slightly bastardized to name their towns. So I think I can come up with 8 this way. Let me get my cursor over here. Whoops. That was horrid. Okay. There is a town in Turkey called Batman. Okay. Interesting things you do when you figure out or learn when you start just plucking a section of the globe and looking at it on a map. Okay, if I can come up with 4 more of these. No, quit trying to figure out what the hell I'm spelling, because I don't even know what the hell I'm spelling. There we go. So now it's got me curious where the term Vargir originated from in Traveler. We're going to be digging that up here momentarily, because if I can find a language reference, point of origin, we will definitely run with something. Okay. There we go. We have 8 Aslan names. Let's see. In Norse mythology, if I can spit it out here, a Vargir is a wolf, especially the wolf Fenrir that destroyed the god Odin in the Battle of Ragnarok. Okay. Anglicized as warg. So Vargir is anglicized as warg, which that brings us straight into J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay, so we're not going to Tolkien. What we're going is for Norse city names. Or probably more appropriate would be Viking city names or place names. This gets me off into left field so fast. Let's see. Let's see. We can have a field day with some of this stuff. Okay. Derivatives from the Old Norse words for landscape features and other descriptions. And we are once again down the rabbit hole. Longer called. Norse for long cold. Interesting. My mouse is not wanting to cooperate when rotating back and forth between my two screens because it's two different computers, one screen being shared by two computers. I don't know what gets confused worse, me or the machinery. All right. I think I need another source because this word list I have almost wore out. Excuse me. I could be a smartass and name one of them Saint Olaf. Saint Olaf. Oh, that would be hysterical. They would have their own theme song. Wow, some of these name generators are horrid. Okay, one more. If I can come up with one more. Yep. Okay, so we've got enough names for Traveler, to name things for Traveler. I'll have to determine if we want to alter city names for Starfinder. I'm going to take a look at how I want to do the population split before I do that. So that's food for thought for another time. Let me take a look at my to-do list for my world building, because I kind of keep a running so partially completed, because I've got to come up with some names for towns for a Starfinder setting. Stuff for me to think about for next time. That will be a Wednesday project. Let's take a look at what do I have on the radar for Wednesday. Session 7, World Building, Wednesday, 01X07, Species. Okay. Species, position in society. So I guess if we're doing social standing or castes. Location on map, relationship with other species. I guess that's going to be friendly, range from friendly to hostile, friendly to neutral to hostile. And we have 5 slots. Well, for Traveler, it'll be easy. There's only 3. For Starfinder, it depends on how I populate the planet. Now, for thinking ahead for Wednesday for the fantasy setting, our 3 predominant fantasy races in my world build are going to be human, elf, and dwarf. But you'll have some Tabaxi, some Dragonborn. You're going to have some Yanti. You're going to have some Sahagin. Those last 2 are going to be very small populations because I really don't want large populations of evil bastards running around my planet. It's not good for the rest of the population, the civilizations, because if you've got a ton of evil bastards, chances are the rest of the planet has been enslaved. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. So, I'll have to think about that a little bit. So Wednesday night will be a world building Wednesday night. Let's see. That will be, the 7th? Interesting. Episode 7 on February 7. How did I manage that? Trust me, it wasn't planned that way. It just randomly fell that way. All that being said, I think we're getting close to wrapping up for the evening. Not a long stream tonight. Just wanted to jam some stuff out. I've got some to-dos for my D&D session. Let's see. Weekend adventures. Okay, I've got to build some stat blocks and encounters. I think we're going to wrap up here in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll probably roll some music at the end, but I've got to build a set of Batiri battle stack stat blocks and build a couple of encounters using those. That's going to be fun because think of the Batiri, and this I will do a search on because I know it'll be documented probably in a wiki someplace. So the Batiri battle stack is basically goblins stacked one on top of each other. And this is what's weird, is I don't know why these goblins have an orangish skin in this image, because the wiki will tell you they're green skinned to blend in the jungle environment, but yet every artist rendering I've seen of the little bastards has them in orange or reddish skin. It's like, no. Now, battle stacks can be stacked up to 9 high. Now, obviously, if they're fighting humans, they don't need to stack 9 high. I mean, if you're fighting a large creature, you want to be 20 feet tall, too. But if you're battling somebody that's 6 foot, probably 2 to 3 to a stack, gives you enough of a height advantage to be a pain in the ass. So, Batiri battle stacks. Oh, somebody 3D printed some oh, now looky here. Now, that would be fun if we were playing face-to-face. My players haven't played face-to-face in a few months. That's going to be a fun game. That's going to happen sooner or later. We are going to do a live play game and stream it from the kitchen, which means I've got to move some effing gear out of my home office to do that. But yeah, I need to build some stat blocks for some Batiri battle stacks and then create some menacing encounters for them. Oh, speaking of which, it looks like I've got Camp Righteous and Camp Vengeance to lay out. And then I need to review some Fantasy Grounds functionality with them so that we know how some things work that I didn't know in our last session. So, Anyways, that's to-do list for upcoming. That's got to be done before our next gaming session, which should be not this coming Saturday, which would be what, the 10th? Yes, not the 10th. Next gaming session, live gaming session, will be the 17th. I'm going to try to talk some folks into generating some additional characters for play. I think we need to round out the group a little bit more. So, anyways, I think that will be it for this evening. Appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, if you like what you see, hit that follow button, turn on those notifications so you know when I go live. And hopefully we will see you again soon. If not Wednesday night, sometime after that. But again, thanks for joining and hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully you got to see a little bit of what goes on behind the DM screen. And see you next time.